to episode 32 of Let's Talk Money with Wendy Silebi. I hope your finances survived the Black Friday and Cyber Monday specials. Shoo! Aye, they were tempting, hey? And I stayed focused, and I hope you also managed to stay focused and did not overspend. Well, we are in the last month, actually, in the last 3 weeks of the year. And wow, I'm so excited that we are at episode 32, which is the last one for this year. However, we are coming back next year bigger and better. And so, as we are doing this episode, we have less than 30 or 22 days to be specific before Christmas. And what a year it has been. For some, it's been good, for some, not so good. However, whatever your situation has been, we still have 2025. It's a new year that's coming where we can do better and where we can just rebuild, and refocus and really go back and check where we made mistakes and correct. And in the new year, give it a go. The financial freedom that you so aspire to acquire is within reach. And this podcast is here to help you achieve, your goals. So today's episode really is to focus on how to survive overspending during the festive season. As they say, "Ki December boss," and highly December, we kind of like forget financial principles. So I thought before you start with your festive spending, we should pause, pat ourselves on the back for everything that we have achieved, the small and the big wins. We've made so many financial breakthroughs. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, for those who fell through the wayside, through the cracks, some things happened, and you find yourself, not being focused on your goals, don't despair. I mean, you still have 2025 to do it right. You can rebuild again. And so I think it's also important for us as we spend time with our families, as we relax, to reflect and to go back and check, how did I do? What are those things that made me to succeed? And then next year, you do more. You add to what you did. And if you didn't do good, you go back and check, what are those things that really let me down, so that next year you avoid them. I think what's important here is that we need to be honest with ourselves and really acknowledge what happened. Because when you acknowledge, that is the first step to you doing better. Being honest really helps you to reflect and not to punish yourself, rather, but to work on improving yourself. So what worked? What did not work? Once you've done that, then plan ahead for the new year. And then we will also provide tips in the new year on how to put together your vision, how to put together your goals, and how to link them to investment. So that will be the first episodes that we will focus on in the next year. Now back to the festive season. It's a season to be jolly. It's a season to enjoy with family. It's a season to let down your hair for those who've got hair. It's a season just to have a relaxing time. After all, you've worked so hard for these 12 months. You just need a break from it all. And so what's important, therefore, is that as you take a break from it all, don't take a break from being financially prudent. So, let me also then say, what is it that we should be mindful about in this season? Being mindful at first, maybe let me define what mindfulness means. Mindfulness means being fully aware about how, where, why, and on what you will be spending your money on this festive season and going into the new year. Mindfulness is about being intentional about spending your money on things that really matter. It's about spending while maintaining a healthy relationship with your money, preparing for a stress free January and life beyond January. I mean, some of you have been contributing to stokvels, to investment groups, and now you have money in abundance. Wow, something that you possibly didn't have during the year, and now you have this abundance of money. Be mindful about abundance, because abundance can create you maybe overspending, because when you have too much money, then you get all excited. You think, I've got money, I can spend, and before you know it, you have overspent. So here are a few tips to avoid overspending. Number one, and my favorite, create a budget for the festive season. Determine how much you will be spending on gifts. This gift buying can really do damage to your finances. Think about the food that you're going to purchase. If you're hosting Christmas, don't just do the normal budget. Add all the Christmas things that you buy, the decorations for the table, etc. All of those have got an impact on your budget. Think about travel. The dinners that you will be having, the breakfasts. If you go to the malls, the whole of December, you can't even get a table. People are coming for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and of course they're celebrating. But have they added all those lunches and dinners and just meetings and drinks into their budget? Make sure that you also add those to your line items. And if you travel or you receive an invitation that requires to travel, remember, every invitation that you accept comes with costs. If you are going to accept an invitation that takes you out of the province, think about the toll gates, think about the additional petrol tank or tanks that you will be using. Think about the refreshments on the way. Think about accommodation where you are going. So factor in all of those into your budget and make sure that you don't overspend. It's these little items that we do not that add up, actually making us to overspend. List all the items that you are going to purchase if you are going into the malls. If you never used to use a grocery list, I think this is the time for you to be careful, because when you walk into all the stores, it's the Christmas lights, it's the decorations, and then as you walk through all the aisles, the items start speaking to you and they say, take me, and you end up buying things that you don't need. But if you have a grocery list, then you'll be able to tick off all that you are spending on, and you'll stick to your budget. It's important. It sounds cliche. We always say, hey, budget, stick to your budget. But the truth is, it's so easy to fall off the wagon. And make sure that you are tracking all your expenses. Number two, during this time, it's easy to buy unwanted items. As I've already said, the advertisers have got a way of, creating the hype, with those bells, with all those lights that really make those items to be so inviting. And then we end up purchasing things that we don't need. If you've never used a grocery list, make sure again, and I'm reiterating point number one, because I think this is so important. Use that list. Make sure that you do not overspend and avoid impulse purchasing. Number three, don't allow social pressure to get the best of you. For example, if you are giving gifts don't want to be the one who is giving the most expensive gift. Don't have that gifter mentality, thinking that if you give those big expensive gifts, people will begin to love you. Rather, give gifts that are in alignment with your budget, but they are meaningful and they are thoughtful. It's about the memories that we create with our families, not how big or how expensive the gift is. Number 4, pay all your obligations before you do number 3, number 2, and number 1. Don't skip your payments. If you still have kids at school, make sure that you pay your school fees up front now in December. Buy your school uniform now in December. The stationery, buy it now. You know, in January, I see how people are running amok looking for rulers and crayons. They can't find them. Buy them now. You know, be smart. Buy them now before it gets busy. Pay your university registration costs now while you still have that abundance of money, because you don't want to be the one who is at the bank in January applying for a personal loan to pay university fees when you actually had the funds but you did not prioritize the important things. Make sure you pay your home. You cannot postpone paying the roof over your head and say, I'll pay next month. Because when you do that, you're not just only going to pay double the installment, you're going to be charged interest for not paying, and your installments are just going to go out of control. Rather, pay for your home, pay for your car, pay for all the obligations. If you are owing creditors, please pay all your accounts. Most importantly, set aside money for petrol in January. 5 weeks, that sound like 50 weeks. Also put aside some money for you to be able to buy essentials in January, because you know, during the festive season, we just eat. You know, when we see food in the fridge, we just want to finish it all off. Make sure that you've put money aside for January. You know those memes that people always do in Jan where they just show an empty fridge and cabbage? You don't want to be that person. If you have kids that go to school using school transport, pay that as well. Once you've done that, then you can splurge. Then you can enjoy yourself. After all, you've worked so hard. You know, it's time for you just to reward yourself, to relax, and to really do things with your family. Go out and just have fun. But make sure all the other things have been done. And so, with that, I hope that you will implement these 4 points that I've shared, and that you will make sure that in January you have a better story to tell than those that will be calling. We will not be answering your calls, or we will be listening to you as carers, but we will not be moving. We will not be transferring any cash to help you in the month of Jan. So plan better. With that, I'd like to wish you, my amazing podcast viewers, a wonderful time with your families during this festive season. Let this be a season of reflection, of gratitude, and special moments with your loved ones. I wish you peace, prosperity, and warmth during this time of reflection, rejuvenation, and relaxation. Happy holidays until next year.